Good morning. Here's a morning practice for you to squeeze into your day, hopefully quite early on when you wake up. So it's designed to wake up into the hips and stretch into the body. So go nice and easy. Don't expect to get the same mobility that you would get at the end of a day. And the equipment is simple. It's just going to be either a pillow or a bolster and a blanket. And then come and join me on the mat. So I'm going to just start with the seated position. Just to come and sit down, extend the legs all the way forward. And even this position can sometimes feel quite strong on the backs of the legs. So just start with a little massage through the feet, the ankles, obviously bending the knees to reach those ankles and avoid the sort of stretching and arching into the back unnecessarily. So whatever you need to do to ease into your body, take the softer option. Okay, so nice and gentle, back of the calves, hamstrings, and then we're going to draw the buttock flesh out and back. Okay, so we feel that we're sitting into the sitting bones, and then take the feet a little wider apart. Place the hands down by your side. So everybody's got slightly different arm to torso ratio. So just bend the elbows if you need to. Sit up nice and tall. We're going to start with some movements with the ankles. And take some deep breaths. And just let the eyes softly gaze between the feet. So with the feet a good distance apart so that you can rotate the feet, toes almost touching into the center in one direction, and then we're going to take that the other direction. This may feel slightly awkward, particularly up through the calf muscles. Breathing deep. Start to bring a sense of lifting up through the chest and engagement through the arms. All the way. Good job. Well done. And then slowly just draw the feet to the floor. Bring them to around hip width apart. Take the hands down by your hips and just shift the pelvis forward towards the heels. Replant the hands and just come to sit in this upright position. Okay, so this may already feel quite tight in the hips. So allow the feet to come a little distance away so you ease up that space around the backs of the knees and into the hips. Press the hands into the floor, mindful of the wrists. So again, we're waking up into the joints. Take some deep breaths, just settle in the middle here. So we're stretching through the arms. And of course, what's happening is we're getting this openness across the sternum, across the collarbones, and then there's some spaciousness across the chest. And we can breathe into that space. Really start to integrate the breathing now as you start to settle. And soften the shoulder blades as much as possible. So there is engagement there. We want to feel that sense of support through the back as we lift up through the chest. Well done. Nice deep breath. You can breathe through the nose. You can tuck the chin a little deeper so we start to get some length through the back of the neck. Stay nice and central. And breathe into the back ribs. Press the floor away with the hands. Well done. We're going to slowly release and then turn towards the screen. Let the knees just flop with the knees. Okay, so you can keep the hands there, bend the elbows, and just slowly start to let the knees just flop to the sides. If you've got your mat set up the same way, you'll be just moving towards me in a way. You'll notice you'll start to sort of travel. Don't worry about that. You can just readjust. Just start to get into the hips. So don't worry if the legs don't drop as far or one side's sort of softer than the other. There's a little stiffness in the hips on one side. Just noticing. Just really noticing how the body is. You may want to hold on each side, yeah, for a breath. Well done. Notice if that breath is being held. Draw the buttocks back towards the hands. Lift up again through the chest. Nice deep breaths. Soles of the feet planted. Just settle. Well done. This time we're going to draw the feet in towards the pelvis and then take the hands through the center. Take a hold of the feet and let the knees just flop out to the sides. So we're going to sit up nice and tall. I'm going to turn to show you the front view, but you stay as you are. And then we interlace the fingers or just hug the toes in the hands, in the palms, whatever feels good. And we just let the legs slowly start to drop. Now, obviously, for some people, tightness in the hips, legs are going to be a lot higher up, and that may be in your hip. So being mindful, we're not forcing them down. There's no actual forcing there. We're just allowing the adductors on the inner thighs to slowly start to release. So they're joining into the pelvis, which is where we're getting maybe some pelvic pain. Lift up nice and tall and just settle. And this may feel quite strong. Okay, so just notice that the breath is your sort of powerhouse. So checking that that breath is flowing low down in the belly. So breathe into the belly. Let the belly button pop out. And then as we exhale, draw that belly button all the way in. So in your morning practice, really noticing the morning, the way that the breath is naturally flowing. It may be up in the chest, maybe low down in the belly. We may be congested. Yeah. So whatever means you have, so if you have to breathe through the mouth, that's absolutely fine. Hopefully, whilst I've been chatting about the attention to the breath, the legs are slowly coming into accordance with that sense of release. Okay, so still feeling into the sitting bones, lift up from the pelvic floor. So you may notice, just even if this is just a tiny little attention towards the pelvic floor, lifting up from that place, shoulders release from the ears. Well done. We're going to release the hands. Take a hold of the legs and then draw the feet a little further apart, release, and then we're going to slowly come all the way down. Okay, so take the hips and pelvis towards the heels, come down nice and slowly here. Okay, so plant the hands, elbows, forearms, and wrists, and then just stay in the center for a moment. This really is lovely lower back release, and just let the head stay nice and central. Lower back is your sort of point of contact, or certainly around the back of the pelvis. Okay, so you shouldn't be laying into the lumbar spine, the natural curve, but the lower proportion of the spine, deep down towards the tailbone. Breathe there. You can let the eyes just gaze upon the navel. And then slowly, the last little step is to come all the way down. Take the palms, rotate the arms, chest relaxes. Just let the whole of the back completely release. Okay, so there'll be perhaps a natural curve around the lumbar spine, around the lower back, and a natural curve around the back of the neck. This is great. This is to be maintained. Breathing deep and easy, feet planted. And then gently we're going to breathe up the left leg. Okay, so without moving anything above the waist, just let that leg come all the way up. Let it move sort of forward and back. So really small movements, just the weight of your own leg. So what we're doing here is really sort of encouraging some movement of that femur bone, the head of the femur deep into the acetabulum of the hip. You can turn that into some little circles. So keep it all soft and light. Keep your morning practice just gentle. Okay, so little circles, start to feel into that hip. They can then sort of evolve into slightly bigger circles. So you're almost drawing a circle with your knee. Everything else is relaxed. You can adjust the arms as you need to so that the chest is open. Think of everything sort of releasing from that sternum, from the breastbone. Well done. We're going to hug the knee. Bring that knee in towards the chest and then almost out towards the side ribs. Okay, so we hug it in and then to the side, and this creates a little bit more space, softness across the belly. When you're ready, we're going to extend the right leg all the way, point the toes, both feet. Breathe into that lovely hip stretch. Okay, so you're stretching into your psoas and through the pelvis, and just resting. Just, the hands are working, as it were, to hold that leg, but the right leg is extended. Hips are getting a lovely stretch and release. Well done. We're going to bend up the right leg. Release the hands on the left leg. Let that left leg float all the way up. Arms come out nice and wide. Toes up to the ceiling. Point and flex. Going to draw a line. Slow and steady. Okay, so go as slow as you need. And obviously there's going to come a point where the engagement of the core is going to come in. If this is too strong for you, you just bend the knee and land the foot. Okay, so either or, just feel it out for yourself. When that leg extends, you then get a nice stretch through that side of the body as well. We're going to draw that foot back in, rest in the center. Deep breaths. Gently raising up the right leg. Okay, so bring that right leg in towards you. Again, the rest of the body can stay just quite passive. Okay, so nice and relaxed. We start with forward and back with this hip, with the leg bend, with the right leg, and then slowly bringing that into rotation. So some slow movements. Easing in, just allowing the body to be completely supported by the floor. And just notice, the weight of the body. And stay as present as you can with your practice, only a short practice. So best to stay attentive, yeah? The day can wait. It's not time to be in the thinking mind yet. Just remain sort of experiential. Just rest in the sensations as they arise. Well done. We're going to bring the hands around the front shin, interlace the fingers, hug that knee again into your chest and out to the side. And then when you're ready, extend that left leg away. So you create this lovely shape through the body where you feel sort of, lengthened, sort of aerodynamic, yeah, streamlined, strong, pointing the toes. You bring some engagement up through the legs, certainly some openness in this hip flexor and across the groin. So remembering that even in this sort of extended supine position of lying down, we are stretching through this, particularly the psoas muscle, through the pelvis and into the spine. Deep breath in. Well done. Draw up the left leg. Release the hands and extend that leg up to the ceiling. Take the arms wide. Let the arms be out around shoulder level, palms up, and then pointing the toes. We're going to extend that leg slow and steady. Remember to use a little core, a little tone, intelligent tone around the tummy. Okay, so that means just being really attentive, breathing the right amount of effort so that it's engaged, but we're not gripping. Yeah, landing that foot. Keep pointing through the toes and then release. Extend the other leg. Breathe the arms all the way up, Christmas tree allowing, and then extend nice and long through the whole body. Okay, so go easy here. So depending on the tightness in the shoulders, you may want to keep your arms a little wider apart. Point the toes away, tone in the belly, nice big stretch, and then release. Let everything flop out to the side. Deep breaths. And then allow the arms to just glide along the floor. So sort of snow angel is the best description I've got for that one. And then draw the feet all the way up. You can bring the knees into the chest and just have a little hug, a little roll across the lower back. Keep breathing. And then gently roll over onto your side. Press all the way up. Well done. And we're going to just move through some little leg movements, okay, some little twists with the legs. So have a zigzag sort of shape of your legs. I'm turning sideways on. You can stay where you were. It's entirely up to you. See how you're sort of best placed to be comfortable. So we're going to have that lower leg in a zigzag and the top leg. So just see how that feels. So to come into that, okay, so we're going to be doing this sort of movement. So that's going to give you an idea of the space. So if it's looking a bit confusing, just start at this position, feet planted, and then let the knees just flop. So just as we did in the beginning, we can just bring that movement in, but we're going to be integrating the arms as well. Okay, keep it fluid, nice breath as you land on this hip. and then press over to the other side. Rolling into the outer hip. Nice deep breaths all the way to each side. You'll feel that hopefully in the glutes and the connective tissue around the sitting bones. You can pause, of course, and lift up and lengthen. Take it really steady. I think it's better to be sort of fluid and mobile in your morning practice. So see how that integrates and how it feels in your body. There's no rush. So you can always pause. You can come up onto the fingertips and stay up a little higher. And you can also place your blanket. If there's any agitation under the ankles, so this or the bony side of the feet, just place the blanket there. Well done. Come back for one last set. You can lift and lengthen through the spine. You can soften through the ankles. Good job. Well done. And from here, we're going to take the hands to the top of the mat. Slowly start to extend the legs along the mat. Roll onto the tummy, onto the knees, and then stretch it all out. So a nice big stretch. You can put the feet flat if that's comfortable and just extend the arms. Nice deep breath. Really take some time to just settle into the breathing, particularly into the back ribs. And then we're going to come all the way forward, tuck under the toes, press up into a little downward dog. Keep it nice and fluid here, okay? So what you're hoping for is space through the shoulder blades. Really plant the hands with care, so have the fingers equidistant from the sides of the mat. So focus on the little fingers, and then lift up the heels. Nice big breath. And bend the knees. Look forward. Let the head release. Well done. Then bring the knees all the way down. Tuck under the toes. Chin to chest. Let the head hang nice and loose. Now find your center here. We're going to look forward and really press the floor away, okay? So sometimes the temptation is to overarch the back. Aim for a nice straight spine, okay? So same with the hands, just have them planted, pressing the floor away so you get the energy up from the earth. And knees are well planted, feet are just resting back. Take some deep breaths. So slowly start to bring an awareness around the belly. Okay, so we're breathing that belly, breathing the belly muscles. Okay, so think of our core, we're thinking of the diaphragm in particular. We're going to take a breath in and slowly extend. We're going to take the leg out to the side. So hopefully you've got space. If you've only got space on one side, that's absolutely fine. We can turn around on the other side. So extend that left leg out to the side. So it's in line with its own hip. Take some deep breaths. Plant the sole of the foot flat to the floor if you're able to, or you can hover on the sort of knife edge of the inside of that foot. Lengthen, nice deep breaths. Now this may be enough, depending how tight the adductors are on the inner thigh. So you can rest here. That feels okay. We're going to take the body all the way up. Okay, so we're balancing on this supporting leg. Breathe the arms all the way up. Nice deep breath. We're going to take a hold of the right wrist with the left hand. Okay, so we're going to reach across and just have a little lean. Nice deep breath. Keep breathing into that lovely stretch of the outstretched leg. Deep breath. So we're stretching and lengthening all the way up through the right side. I'm just going to spin around to show you a side view. Good stuff. So it's like this. It's a gentle pressure on the wrist. Nice deep breaths. Doing great. Well done, release. Take the arms wide and then scoop the arms all the way down. Plant the hands. take the leg all the way back, sort of watch it with the eyeballs, and then have that leg extended so that basically that leg is in sort of flexion, bring some support in around the glutes. So avoid letting that go sort of too floppy. A nice bit of tone in the front thigh, and then draw that leg in. Rest there. You can always come back, bring a little looseness, a little movement through the hips and pelvis. So bending each elbow and just softening, okay? Letting the chest be soft, and then coming back to center when you're ready. We're going to come to the other side, so I'm going to do this one head on. You stay as you are, or you turn around if you've only got space to extend the leg on one side. So we're going to take that right leg out to the side, okay? So you plant the foot or you're on the knife edge. If the foot is planted, you've got more access to what's happening on the inner thigh, okay, up through the thigh. Nice deep breaths. Deep breaths, and then settle. So again, if there's any agitation under that knee, you can always place a folded blanket just under the supporting knee. I'm just going to sort of show you that softness can be quite useful, particularly if there's any slippiness. So if you're not on a yoga mat, for example, and then we come all the way up. Okay, so again, you can lift that foot, bring some rotation and start to work into the hip. See how that feels. Planting the foot, breathe the arms all the way up. Nice big breath. Well done. And this time we're going to take a hold of the left wrist with the right hand and a gentle lift, sort of encouragement rather than a pull. Not too aggressive. So opening up through the sides of the body and through this inner thigh. Nice deep breath. And release the hands. Take them wide. Scoop that energy all the way forward. Plant the hands. And then the same thing. Watch that leg as it goes all the way back. Some engagement through the glute. And then slowly bring the knees towards each other. Keep them around hip width apart. And then slowly we're just going to reset through the spine. So just some movements, dropping each elbow, little movement, looking back towards your own foot. So whichever elbow you bend, look back towards the foot. Well done. Come to sit all the way back on the heels. Catch a breath. Just let the body settle, and particularly the spine. And then we're going to simply take a hold of the bolster. If you've got a bolster or your cushion, build it up. We're going to lay forward over this onto the elbow as we go, forearms and wrists. Place the bolster so that it's just under the pelvis. Legs can extend. You'll have to jostle for comfort, okay? So feel free to sort of move around a little bit. Obviously, if it is a pillow, you'll need a few because they'll just go completely flat. Lift up and lengthen through the anterior spine. So in other words, check that the pillow's not digging on the belly. So you can lengthen all the way from the belly to the chest. And then slowly come all the way down. Head can balance just resting there on the hands. Or if it's more comfortable, you release your hands wide. Let the head rest on the floor. Deep release. So the pelvis has this support. Chest is resting. Turn the head to the other side. Make sure you stretch both sides of the neck. And take a deep breath in. Bring the head to the center. Draw the elbows in, draw the legs in. Lift and lengthen. Just have a little balance here on the bolster. So legs can be engaged. Keep the feet down for this one, okay? So a nice deep breath. And then slowly we're going to draw the hands, drop the knees, keep everything nice and soft. Come all the way back. And you can rest either with the bolster forward Come to rest forward into balasana. And that's just a lovely way to sort of end your practice. If you don't have time for shavasana, then make sure that you at least ease into some gentle movement. You can stay here in balasana, or you can come to sit all the way up. It's good to do both, just to let the spine settle. You sit back on the heels, palms up. And when you're ready, if you have time to just lie for a few breaths, then I would recommend that. Otherwise, that's your roughly 20-minute morning practice. Enjoy. Let me know how you get on. And yeah, leave me any comments, any feedback. Thank you. Namaste. Have a great day.